Why are you eating that fish? And man says,
this is a
because
video
I love fish.
Rabbi.
He says, oh, you love the fish. That's why you took it out of the water and killed it and boiled it. He said, don't tell me you love the fish. You love yourself. And because the fish tastes good to you, therefore, you took it out of the water and killed it and boiled it. So much of what is love, right, is fish love. Right? And so, young couple falls in love. Young man and young woman fall in love. What does that mean? That means that he saw in this woman someone who he felt could provide him with all of his physical and emotional needs. And she saw in this man somebody she feels that she can write. That was love. Right? But each one is looking out for their own needs. Right? It's not love for the other. The other person becomes a vehicle for my gratification. Too much of what is called love is fish love. Right? An external love is not on what I'm going to get, but what I'm going to give. We had an ethicist, Rabbi Dessler, who said the people make a serious mistake in thinking that you give to those whom you love. And the real answer is, you love those to whom you give. And his point is, if I give something to you, I've invested myself in you. Right? And since self-love is a given, everybody loves themselves. Now that part of me has become in you, right, there's part of me in you that I love. Right? So, true love is a love of giving, not a love of receiving.
Preach, Rabbi. So, for reference, this is posted by Goldcast. Is that can I say that?
I don't know.
That's not like a friend, right?
No, no.
It says Abraham Twersky, Rabbi, love of giving. Very cool. Very cool. So, I agree 100% with the Rabbi. So when I use the word love, and we're talking about the definition of words, and we're talking about the usage of words, and the reason I believe it's so important is because, again, if we truly are saying, and this is just my story, this is just, you take it for whatever it is, but if we're truly pretending, for the sake of imagination, that we are all these blue lights, and we're all brothers and sisters, then how we communicate is really through energy. Touch, transference of energy. Words, energy, right? And you talked about the definitions, and you mentioned something earlier. I don't know if we got it on camera, but you mentioned something earlier to the effect of the meanings changing over time, which is dead on, because we have these words that racial slurs and other words, and in the families we even have words that we use that you can say a word that is completely neutral. Let's say phone you, right? Sake of keeping it clean, phone you. So I can say phone you with ill intent. And if I put that ill intent there, if I put sarcasm there, if I put narcissism there, if I put anger there, if I put hate there, whatever negative energy I put to that word, that will transfer to you.
Let's put, for example, the word Karen.
Karen. Karen is a name. Karen is just a name.
Now it's a
slur.
Yes, it is.
Why? Because we chose
an insulting slur.
Right, because we chose to make it so. We chose to somebody, some blue light somewhere decided, you know what would be funny or what would be whatever? Karen. And they put negative energy behind it. Whatever that negative energy was. And it went out. It went out and it got public attention and it spread, not by the hundreds, but by the millions. From one blue light. Simple word. Transferred that much negative energy across the world. That's the power that we really have. It wasn't a missile. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't a bullet. It was a word. And that's just one example. Just one out of the millions. So if we have this negative energy in us and we have this positive energy, we don't understand either if all we choose to see is what's in front of us with these eyes, through these lenses, with the filters that we have internal to us that we don't even know are there or we don't care to pay attention to. Then everything we see will only instigate more negative energy. Everything we see will be with our own filters. That's what perspective is, right? It's the energy was one thing before me, but when it came in, I did something with that. I manifested it in some way. I turned it into something because of the way that I'm looking out, because of the energy that I put out, because of the energy within me. It is now transformed into something. That is perspective, right? But in order to get to the truth, you have to be able to see within yourself. You have to be able to understand your negative energy. You have to be able to understand your positive energy. You have to be able to understand that you are a blue light, that you are filled with both, and how you function. Because if you don't understand that, then you don't even know that you're putting out negative energy. You don't even know that I've never met a toxic person in this world that admitted to or knew that they were actually toxic. Because you don't know. You're blind to yourself. And if you don't know those things about yourself, imagine what you are doing to the people you claim to love. It's not that it's malintentioned. It's not that it's
ignorance.
It is. It's ignorance, lack of knowledge.
Perspective is, in a sense, your preference.
Oh, I did not expect. Preach, Woody. Go ahead. Sorry, that's the name. Let's block that out.
It is your preference because, like you said, you see something through the veils of your preference, according to either your background, your emotion at the time. It doesn't change the thing you see. It changes your perspective of what you see through your preferences.
Right. Which is you taking in the outside energy and building it into something else. And if you're not aware of what you're doing, if you don't pay attention to it, then negative.
How your preferences are shaped. If you're not aware, you're ignorant to your preferences.
Correct.
Shaping your perspective.
Correct. So let's give some more examples, right? I said that I snapped and I tried to turn myself in because I thought I was crazy, right? I would go blue light, right? Energy. So family member X, doesn't matter. Blue light energy. And I would share some of my positive energy and wait to see what returns to me. Sometimes I would get you're crazy. Sometimes I would get laughs. Sometimes I would get it was a good story, but that's it. Sometimes it's taken in and I receive positive energy back. But then once we separate and this blue light goes back into negative energy, everything that we built is gone. All that positive energy is just shot out. Right? This is everyday occurrences with family. Little lies. Lies. There's no lie. There's no such thing as a good lie. And anyone who says so is lying to themselves. There's no such thing. Lies can be damaging because you tell yourself good intentions, right? You tell yourself good intentions, positive energy because I mean well. But you do a negative thing because what you don't realize is that the real reason you're telling that lie is not what you think it is. A lot of times we might say, oh, I'm telling a lie to protect this person. Are you? Or are you telling a lie because you have a fear that you don't want to admit to yourself of something, of the consequence of the truth? What is so scary about the truth that you need to lie? That's the question you got to ask yourself. What is so scary about the truth that you feel the need to lie? And I'm a liar. I've fibbed. I've lied. I've told big lies and little lies. Because even though I've considered myself a good Christian for most of my life, and even though I did the church thing sometimes and I fell out and I did the Bible thing, I didn't like that and whatever, I was like, I have a relationship with God. I'm good with God. I always, right? I know God and you can't tell me no different. But I still lied. I didn't think I was going to go to hell for it. So, because I'm not a murderer, right? Only murderers go to hell. And if I did, how bad could it be? It's just a lie. Well, let's look at an example of energy, right? And in lies, how this works.
Because I have to go back to lies after this.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got it recorded, so we're good. Lies are negative energy, and here's why. Lies can't be negative energy and positive energy. That's not how that works. They are one thing. Every source of energy, factually, scientifically, has its own signature. Everything has its own signature. All energy has its own signature. A lie has a signature. Anger has a signature. Once you start to understand how this electricity, this energy works, you can identify a lie. You can identify anger. You can identify it. You can identify it within yourself, and you can even identify it within others. So here I am going through all this stuff, and I'm going to tell my story soon, but here I am going through... Was that excitement?
She's going to go like, okay. Go ahead.
I lost me.
So, all right.
She
So
messed
you're
me up.
talking about lies and having negative energy in
Yeah.
your signature.
Yeah, so everything has signature. So you'll be able to determine, and you'll be able to see within yourself the lies and the hate and the anger. You can figure it out that way a lot better once you understand them and you understand the signature, and you can do that same thing outwardly. But in order to do it outwardly, you need to do it inwardly first. So anyone that, if you're like, oh yeah, good Christian, yeah, me, yeah, God, yeah, Bible, whatever, that's fine, that's your thing, I'm not knocking it. But if you're doing that and then you leave and you go back to anger, you go back to hate, you go back to ego, you go back to pride, you go back to whatever your verse is. It's internal. It's not the world. It's internal. It's your energy. You leave that Bible, you leave that church, you leave that God, you leave whatever it is, Allah, whatever you believe in, Buddha, whatever it is, you leave it and you go back to that negative energy, you're lying to yourself. And the only way to really be aware of that and learn is to make a conscious effort every single day of your life. And I know because I've been doing it for a very long time and I'm still doing it. To make a conscious effort every day of your life to identify those things within yourself and to try and change them. And no one will ever be able to do that for you, because no one can break through the wall of negative energy that you have put up until you yourself take it down and reach your hand out. If you don't do that, you can't be helped. And that's important to what I have to say today, because I'm reaching my hand out right now. I'm here, not for myself, but for my family. I'm here, not for me, but for my loved ones. I have nothing to gain out of what I'm going to say at the end of this. Nothing to gain. Everything to, well, I mean, I've already lost pretty much everything. I've let go, but I've got stuff to lose.
Okay.
Nothing too big, but I'm gonna walk in some stuff here, but I'm doing it so that hopefully this message reaches everyone and anyone that it's supposed to reach. Because when I do come back out of my sabbatical and stuff, we're going to start new. And I'm not allowing negative energy in my life. Anybody that I love, and to me, the word love means to lift up, my personal interpretation, to lift up. Because when I say I love you, I'm saying I will lift you up, whether it's a kid, an adult, brother, sister, whatever, romantic even. Aside from romantic affection, when I say I love you to even my significant other, whenever I have a significant other, if I say I love you to that person, I'm saying I will lift you up.
Can I? What
Okay.
does lift up mean? What does that
It means that I will, blue light, right? It means that I will, like you said, I will give my life, right? It means that I will, it's more than just giving my life. I'm not saying that I will sacrifice this body.
Because I have to.
I'm saying, okay, I'm not saying that I will sacrifice this body for you. I'm saying that I will sacrifice my very soul for you. I will give all of my light energy if it means that it will help you evolve through your negative energy and grow. When I say I will lift you up, it means that I will spend my life giving all of me, not this physical me, all of me. If it means
all of your resources, all of
all-
your being,
all of my
all of
energy,
your might.
all of my blue lights. Remember, think blue lights. And blue lights, there's no resource. Money is made up. All this is made up. We'll get into that if you want. But I'm talking blue lights. That's it. That's all there is. When I say I give myself to you, all I really am is that blue light. That's what I really am at the end of the day. So if that's all we really are is this blue light energy, then when I say I will give myself to you, that's what I have to give, is that blue light, that energy. All that matters in how I give it is that I give it in a positive way. And as long as I'm giving it in a positive way to you and you're receiving it in a positive way, then we can be positive together. Now imagine two blue lights doing that for each other, right? Imagine just two, not the whole world, just two, saying, I will lift you up. I'm going to give you my positive energy. And you say it back to me and we do it together. It doesn't have to be a couple. It can be brother to brother. We say we're going to do it together. What you see happening is you see evolution together. You see this blue light going up here and this blue light going up here and this blue light going up here and this blue light. And they just raise and they just grow and they just get brighter with beautiful, glowing, positive energy because they are nurturing each other. They are growing each other, right? They're feeding off of each other in a positive way. But our family is very dysfunctional. I don't feel like I had anybody lifting me up. I made it here largely on my own. I had some support, I had some help, right? I'll never forget you guys. I'll never forget, the people who were there for me. So I didn't do it all by myself. But for the most part, I kicked ass and took names and I did that. That was me. That was this. And while I did it, I was sacrificing the whole time. I was giving not just my body. I gave my body, but I was giving my soul. I was giving my energy. I was giving my life force to raise up those around me that were getting stuck and pulled down into that negative energy. They weren't able to go anywhere. And when I saw them stuck, I reached out, same way you guys have. I reached out and I said, I will lift you up. I said, I love you, right? And I gave whatever I had to give. Even if I didn't have it, I found it just to make sure that I would lift them up. That is what I love you means to me, right? It's sacrifice. It's not just sacrifices, but I'm going to go beyond this body. I'm going to give you all of me. I will literally give you my last breath if it means that I can see you burst away from your negative energy and just be overcome with the positive. Go ahead, you had something to say?
In the scriptures, word love, as we have just been saying, is the gift of yourself, your life. And it's one of the evidences of what is an evidence, what shows love. In the scriptures, it would be one of the things is obedience. God in the scriptures says He doesn't want sacrifices for your sins. He wants loving commitment. Those are the two words we're speaking. Love, commitment is when you're committed, you obey. You don't break, for lack of a better way to say it, you obey in the sense that you don't, if you are in a marriage and you cheat, you're not obeying the commitment you made. So just as a way to say, love is also not just the fact that I am going to give, although that is like the highest, I don't want to say highest, but it is a high part of love. But also love is obedience. And when we say, what am I to obey? Well, your heart. We're saying right now, we're blue lights. And if I should save this for later because
let it out
the
now.
scriptures actually say, right in the beginning, when Satan, or the adversary, asks Eve the one question, did God really say you can't eat of all the trees in the garden? She says, no. He said we can eat of the trees, except the one tree, and there's two in the middle, tree of life, and the tree of knowledge, good and evil. Except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. She said, we can't eat nor touch. God did not give that order to Adam. He gave the order only, do not eat of that tree. So right here, the Jewish sages that ponder over these words say, we have Eve stating, we could say a lie. She added to the Torah. Is it a lie? God didn't say it. So she's saying he said it. It's a lie. But she added to God's order. And she did not eat the fruit yet. So the sages are pointing out that one of their ways, they say, man is born with an evil incentive and a good incentive. We have both in us at the time of creation. And God gave us a will, but that will would serve no purpose without at least one rule, one order. So you could use that will to choose to either obey through love, not obey through fear. He told them, you're going to die, certainly that day, not that day you're going to die, but you will die, indicating you weren't going to die until you disobeyed that one order. So this is an essence of, we are born with both evil and good in us. So to say you are a light, because in the scriptures, darkness, the word for darkness first in the beginning of Genesis, and it says it was dark. That word is not the word for no light. That word is a word called Hebrew koshek, which indicates a spiritual darkness, a ignorance.
I'm going to speak of darkness and light.
And then when it says he created light, this is before the stars and the sun on the fourth day. This is the first day. That word for light is O-W-R, or, and that means in Hebrew illumination, enlightenment. And this is what they're getting at, in the sense that we don't really think in these terms that inside of us are both things. And our will drives us. And God wants us to obey what his laws he laid out as a just way of ruling, righteous rulings. And he wants us to show our love to him through obedience, through being obedient to his laws that he laid out. And that is, when they say you need to show your faith, is trust. And you need to show your faith and trust. It is evident of your faith and trust through good works. And people take these good works to mean only the fact that you're out there volunteering and doing good things for people. The first and primary good works are your obedience to his word. That is the works. And after that, because faith needs to mature, you cannot just go to the sense that I believe in Yeshua, Jesus, and from there, never go any deeper. And in a sense say, my relationship with God is through me praying and talking to him. And however I think he talks back to me, without studying his word that is written and left for us, which actually shows us God's attributes.
So you brought up like every point that I want to talk about. Every point, but it's a lot of key points. So you're right. It'll be a while before we get to my story. Sorry. But a lot of key points. No, it's supposed to be said, and you brought them up. It's my confirmation, and we're gonna touch on them. But let's start with let's go back to the blue light. All right, that'll be our reference point for everything. So let's say that if we're blue lights, and if you want to take a reference from the Bible, and God created us in his image, then God is also some sort of light energy. Whether he's a different color or not, don't know, but he's some sort of light energy consciousness.
Yes.
Right?
That even.
So if we're lights of energy and God is this light of energy, of consciousness, and he created us, he created us in his image, but also he created us, being the main point. Then the same way that a mother creates a child, through extension, there is a part of God in all of us. We are connected. There is an energy source that we can all tap into. That is God, right? So if that's true, I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself so you don't get it the wrong way. If that's true, I'm not saying that that church is a sham or anything like that. I'm not saying anything like that.
I am.
No, but we're gonna get there. But we're gonna get there. If that's true, then we are always connected to this God. Not just are we always connected to this God, but whether you call him Allah or you call him Buddha or you call him or you call him her, or it doesn't matter. It's the same God. we just all have the different names.
Not the same God. They have different names.
No, we'll get to so.
We know only two.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, for this design, this thing that I'm putting out there, right? We're all blue lights. So if you're a blue light on the other side of the world and you're praying, you're sending out energy. Yes? You're sending out energy through verbal prayer, through words. We've already established, we're saying, yes, that's how this world works, right? So in this world, that's how that works. And we know that this God is up there, and we're sending this energy intended for that God. Then in this world that I'm describing, we are all praying to the same God. We may be calling them different names. And I know not all. I know there's Satan worshipers and all that other stuff. I'm aware. But for the sake of this illustration, right, we're blue lights. We're not even getting, we're looking at the positive energy right now. We're not looking at the negative for the sake of this moment, right? So we're all positive energy, blue lights attached to this God. For those that are positive energy, for those that are full of positive energy and are walking in that right way to nourish yourself, to nourish that positive energy and to grow and to evolve, if we are all a group of people doing that, right, of blue lights doing that, then we are all praying to the same God. We are all sending energy to that one light, right, that one light energy that created us. And if that's the case, that this light energy created us and we're attached and we send energy back and forth and we can communicate, then I would argue we can say that energy, that God, is essentially our parents. It's our parent, mother, father, whatever you want to call it. That is our parent, created us, as a mother does a child, right? And as a mother does a child, as a parent, God will look to his children as such, as children. In most of those origin stories, like Adam and Eve, we inherited the earth from God, our father, our parents, right? We inherited the earth from our parent for each other. Because Eve was in the most Christian, stories, whatever, Eve was sprung from the rib of Adam, right? So therefore, she was created for him and him for her.
God created Adam first, not for Eve. He created man. But Eve was created for Adam as a companion.
To say that they were not there for each other is to say that one is lesser than the other.
I know this is another difficult point in the sense of, like, according to the scriptures and from the Hebrew concept of who wrote them, not saying that women are lower in the sense that we think of women being less than men, but their roles are not the same. Do you give significance to one role over the other? That would be the same thing we do when we say, no, women are not as good as men. They're just different roles. They're attributes, they're purposes, in the sense of you need both, opposites. In order for this physical universe to cycle through, they are.
Let's get away from the physical universe for a second, right? Let's go back to this energy thing. Okay. So if we're all blue lights and we're all energy, and let's say at least Adam, being an energy ball, is of God, is his child, has God in him, yes? Then when Eve was created, through the laws of physics and science speaking, she should have also had some God in her, some of that same energy, right? So if we have two of these, whether male or female, physical world aside, we have two of these balls of light energy with consciousness that both have God in them, that are both children of God.
Yes.
Who determines their purpose? Who determines their role?
The Creator.
And so if the creator is our parent, you're a parent, right? So if the creator, you're a parent. Yes? Okay. So if the creator is our parent, as a parent, do you think that the creator is only going to speak to one blue light over the other and tell that one blue light, hey, here's how I want everything, or and the other one, you can't talk to me directly? I mean, would you ever do that to your children? Would you be like, hey, you can't come to me directly because you're not the same as this one?
Where do you get this not coming to directly? Are you implying women?
No, I'm saying if we're looking at this situation, there is no implication of woman or man. There's no physical body. We're just these blue lights.
Anything that tells me no, you cannot talk to me, or I won't hear you.
So you would, is it fair to say then, as a parent, if you consider God as this light energy that is our parent, as a parent, relating parent to parent, you would want both or all, however many children you have, to be able to come to you
Yes.
for whatever, right? Always.
Yes.
Okay, so then in that sense, this God, this light energy, if it's the parent of us, it would only make sense. It's actually logical. I mean, we could do a scientific method, whatever, or the thesis, I guess. It would make sense that we are in his image. We are of him. It would make sense that as a parent, he is also going to feel the same way that we feel as parents. He, she, whatever. I'm saying he for reference, right?
Okay.
But he's going to want us to talk to him. He's going to want a relationship with us. He's going to want us to know him. He's going to want us to know the truth of who he is, right?
Yes.
I refer to that as he's going to want us to see him, to know him, to understand him.
He does. But to see him,
I'm not talking with eyes.
All right then.
I'm not talking with eyes.
How?
We're blue lights. We're blue lights. When I say see, I'm speaking energy.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain that when I get into my story. That'll come up. You'll get it. When we get to the part about me dying and coming back, we'll hit that up. So, as a parent, was it fair to say that that's how you feel with your children? You want them to know you. You want them to understand you. You want them to see you for who you are, not just this shell on the outside. You want to teach them, right? You want them to learn from your mistakes.
This is the difference, because I can tell you right now, for the most part, and I tell the kids this too, for the most part, not getting spiritual about it. Or,
You can. No, you can. Absolutely.
this part I would put out as in, I'm not talking Bible about it. I could put Bible into it, but what I'm saying is, you go look at the different philosophies and you look at like all the different psychologists and things like this, you're going to find they all put forth from way back that we have an ego.